What's good, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be giving you my full painting process for this photo right here. So I want to invite you all to get your own canvas, get your sketchbook, get your paintbrush, anything that you need, and let's get started. Alright, y'all, just a little disclaimer, you're not going to see my beautiful face anymore. Y'all probably like, man, I didn't want to see that face anyways, but it's fine. For my underpainting, I'm just using burnt sienna, and I mix it with a little bit of the Gamsol. You can see it in the corner of the screen right there. So I'm just trying to get a good trace of this lady's face. And when I'm starting off, is not really that perfect, but I'm just getting a rough outline of where the eyes are. I always say that your first layer doesn't really have to be perfect at all. You could create a messy first layer, but as long as you get like a rough idea of where everything goes, then you should be good. But for my first move is I like to start off with the shadows, because going from dark to light is way easier than going from light to dark, and I recommend that you guys do the same as well. So for my dark layer, I use my burnt umber, and I'm gonna start putting it in areas that shadows go. And this one, I don't mix it with the Gamsol. I just take it straight out the tube and I just start applying it directly. And I'm gonna put it in areas such as like this part in beneath her brows and like underneath her eyes. I don't really know what it's called, but shadows always pop up in those areas. And when you paint people's faces, you start to notice these things a lot, because everybody has the same type of structure. They might have like different features, but overall the structure of everybody's face is the same, and you can just like become really, really good at like matching it each time that you paint if you start to do it consistently. And being consistent with anything really, you'll start to notice patterns and you'll become more efficient and you'll become way better. But for my next shadowing stage, I like to use this burnt sienna. This is the same color that I used for the underpaint, just this time I'm not going to mix it with the Gamsol. Gamsol is only necessary for your underpainting stage, and it just thins out the paint so that you can layer on top of it. You don't want to layer on top of thick paint, or else everything will mix together and it'll create like a, I don't know if you guys ever done this before, but like when you try to paint and then the paint starts smearing on top of it, like, and then you get colors in place that you don't want it to go. Gamsol will take that away because it'll thin the paint enough that it won't smear and it'll dry pretty quickly. But also in this photo that I'm making for my shadows, I'm using this French ultramarine blue. You can buy it from the store, and I'm using it straight out the tube. I'm not using any of the Gamsol as well. But yeah, I just hop in my flow state. I like to plug in some music every time I paint, because it's just a very relaxing time. It takes my mind off of like anything I'm on. Takes my mind away from work, takes it away from school, takes away from just really anything I do. So I really recommend painting for anybody that wants to find like a little escape. And if you're not good, then that's what I'm here for. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're not good. I just want you to be confident in the stuff that you make, because you deserve to be confident in the art that you make. And you feel really, really good when you're able to see something and you have the confidence to paint it, say like, yes, I made this. So in this shadow, I mix a little bit of like a light blue, because I want the shadow to be a little bit darker. I don't want it to be straight like this light blue that I made. So you can always tweak the colors. You don't want to use large amounts, because if you use like a huge hunk of paint, you're gonna have trouble trying to get that color that you want. So I always recommend starting off with small amounts so that you can really get a color match. Don't use large hunks of paint, because with oil paints, a little bit goes a long way. So it's not like acrylic paints or watercolor where you need like a large amount of something. Like oil paints is definitely not like that. It's completely different. But also in my description, I do have a emailing list. I would like to recommend you guys to join that, and you're gonna get some free value on there. You get a free 7-step guide on how to paint portraits. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But yeah, now I'm gonna start applying this blue in areas such as like her nose, because in the photo that I'm looking at, there's shadows in this area of her nose, and I didn't really complete it all in this layer. I'm gonna come back to it in a future layer. But when you're blocking out, you really want to just get a full like covered area. You want everything to all the colors to go where they go. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want everything covered out. You don't want white spaces, because when you don't have white spaces and everything is filled out, it's easier to get a image of the final. And when you have white spaces, then it's like you have open gaps. You want to fill out those gaps, and when you have gaps, and even just like a bowl, then when you pour water into the bowl, things are gonna leak. But when you have a fully covered bowl, you can start to fill it up with water, and then you can transport that water. So that's just what I'm doing right here. No more white areas. I'm just covering everything out. And for the skin layer now, I'm taking a little bit of my yellow ochre, and I'm just like applying it on my palette, and I'm taking a little bit of the burnt sienna that I used from earlier, and I'm trying to get like a yellowish skin tone, so that's why I use so much of the yellow ochre. And burnt sienna just makes it more of like a brown. And when you start to add the white in there, then you get that like Caucasian skin, you get that white skin. And you see from this video right here that is like a yellow tone. It's very warm. And that is what I'm going for. I'm just gonna adjust it a little bit. I'm gonna grab some of a different color. I gotta see which one I chose. Yeah, I just took a little bit more of the white because I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. But yeah, I really enjoyed painting this picture. It was really fun for me. I like to challenge myself to like step out the box and really just try something new each time I paint. Because I don't think that we should just stick to one singular niche or one singular type of topic that we paint, because you don't really get good at painting overall if you just paint the same exact thing. I like to paint people, but everybody is different. Everybody has a different looking face. Um, so I like to paint guys, I like to paint girls, I like to paint children, I like to paint old people, and just like widen my range, because I don't think you should just stick to one singular thing. You should expand and find like what you really enjoy doing. So for the skin areas now, this is the blocking out, like I said earlier. And when you're blocking out just normal white areas and cover out all of these parts, I'm gonna get to the lips later. The lips are pretty simple. You're just gonna take a little bit of red and mix it with the skin tones that you use. But in this under eye, I just grabbed a little bit of the red too. I mixed it on the palette to get an orange, and I used that for her underlid, her under eyes, because in the photo, underneath this area was a little bit red. Other areas of the photo are a little bit red as well, as like orangish. So I just put that down to get like a real nice tone, and it really just gives like extra splashes of color for more dramatic effect on the photo. So yeah, I'm just starting to darken out some areas too, and get a real good like feeling of skin, like real smooth texture, because that's what you want. And now I'm taking a little bit of this yellow, adding it to the light areas, and here's where the I finish out that blue area of the nose. And you can see that everything is not perfect. I'm just getting colors where they go. But once I start to add in the eyes, you see, you start to really understand what I'm trying to make. But we're not done with it yet. We're gonna start to sharpen it up after this stage. And um, I'm starting to go in with some black now, because black is very necessary. Don't be afraid to use super dark blacks and like bright whites, because those are the things that really give your picture some real value. If you only limit yourself to like a small spectrum of like shades, your picture's gonna look very flat, and that's how my pictures used to look. They used to look very flat because I was afraid to use like super bright colors. I thought that it was gonna look out of place, but allowing myself to get uncomfortable and allowing myself to actually like experiment new things, find ways how I can make my art better. Also, my art teacher, she helped me out. She told me that this is necessary if you really want to create like nice looking portraits. You have to use like a full color range. You shouldn't be afraid to really like make things pop, because the pictures that pop are the ones that get a lot of attention. The pictures that are flat don't really get that much attention. They just get like kind of overlooked. And when you're an artist, you want your stuff to pop. You want it to catch people's attention. So it really makes sense. So you have to be brave. You can't be timid. You have to be brave with every single brushstroke that you make. You can't try to reserve. You can't try to like hide from things. You gotta really make yourself stand out. So that is a reason why you want to use these dark colors. These really light colors that pop out because you're gonna get a nice looking picture at the end, and overall your picture is gonna look more realistic because when you look around you, you have a large range of color spectrums. You have like very dark blacks and shadows when you look around you. You could look around your room, you could look around your office, you could look around your bed. I don't really know where you are right now, but you can look and you can really see this in action. So yeah, I'm just applying it to the eyes now, these under eyelids, because this is the darkest area of the photo. Underneath the eyelids, that's where the darkest areas are. So you want to make those stand out. I'm also gonna add it to like some smaller areas such as underneath the eyelids, and I'm gonna go like to the nostrils too, because the nostrils have like a dark shadow in that area. So I want to make that part stand out. I don't want it to be inconsistent and me to only use black in like the areas around the eyes, and then the whole rest of the picture doesn't have any more black in it. That will look weird. The eyes will look like they'll stand out, and then nothing else will stand out. But here's the area where I put the black underneath the nose and to the side of the nose too, just surrounding the area where I put the blue. And yeah, it's starting to look good. I think that the shadows are really starting to pop out now. The highlights could use some more, but that's when I'm gonna go back in later. I'm gonna go back in later with my whites to really like make these things stand out, and then things will start to look complete. Yeah, right now things are a little bit incomplete, but we're getting there. And if you're following along, you should be in a good stage right now. Um, Even when you don't add the whites, the picture will look good, but the whites just give you that last little bit of like wow, gives it that nice wow factor. So yeah, just working on like some smaller details now, like the eyebrows. I'm gonna touch up the hair too. The hair, I didn't really put too much energy into the hair. I wanted to focus on just like the structure of the face. I wanted to structure everything good. I wanted the face to look real nice and realistic because I haven't really painted pictures like this before. Maybe you can look on my YouTube page, you could look on my Instagram page and see like the type of pictures that I usually make, but this one is kind of outside of the realm of my usual niche, say. But I really enjoyed making this one. Yeah, I really enjoyed making this one. It was very calming for me to make. So, all right. So after this, I'm gonna move on to my whites, but for now, I'm just finishing up these blacks like around her mouth. And if you see like any other areas that you want to touch up, you can always come back to those later, or you can still like finish them while you're doing your blacks. But it doesn't really matter which order you do it in. But now I'm starting to move on to my whites, and around the eyes, you really start to see this pop. This was like a really enjoyable time for me because I started seeing it come to life. It was going from 2D to 3D. But I got asked this question. I don't even remember where it was, but somebody asked, "Who's an artist that inspires you?" And Kehinde Wiley, if you don't know who he is, he's an African artist. He creates huge murals. His art is amazing, so you should definitely Google him and check him out. I think that he has some very beautiful work. But when I was starting out, he was a huge inspiration for me. And as I continued painting, like that, he's still an inspiration for me. But my inspiration sort of shifted, and now I'm more like veered towards meaning. Finding meaning in the stuff that I make is what inspires me, and like finding like a deeper sense of fulfillment. I want to add I want to help people out. I want to add value to their lives. That's the reason why I even paint. And my art, I believe, is a journey of discovery because art has really helped me discover a lot of things within me and like outside of me. So and now like where this comes in is because whenever I paint, this is where I feel like I'm able to get into like creation mode. I'm able to bring things into life, and it just feels so good whenever I'm able to look at something and I'm actually proud of the work that I make, because when you're actually proud of the work that you make, sort of reflection on what you've learned and who you became, because each time that I create a painting, I just sort of discover more about myself and like my abilities, because this is a continuous journey. It's not from point A to B, it's from point A, B to C to D to E, and you just keep on going on and on and on, and you keep on getting better, because I don't think that you should put a cap on how good you can get. I feel like you can always keep on getting better. 1 year ago, I could have like stayed at the point I was at. I could have said that I'm good, I don't want to get any better, but I made that decision that I'm not going to stay complacent. I'm not going to stay to this point that I'm at right now, because imagine how far I could get if I just kept on having the same mindset that I could keep on getting better, I could move on to the next level, I can move on to the next step as well. And then eventually you're gonna look down, you're at the top of the Eiffel Tower, you're gonna be at the top of the Burj Khalifa. How would that be possible if you just stayed at the first level? So that's why you should keep on looking up. Don't look down, keep on looking up, look at the things that you could do, look at the person that you could be, and just keep on improving in the things that you really like to do. And it becomes easy when you really enjoy the things that you do, because you're not like dreading putting in extra work. I enjoy putting in extra work. Sometimes I have to force myself to stop painting. I know it sounds crazy, but I have to force myself to stop painting. I'm like, okay, it's getting too late. It's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I actually have to go to bed. I have stuff to do tomorrow. But that's all part of the process. You gotta enjoy putting in time into this stuff. You gotta enjoy actually challenging yourself and seeing how far you can go, because I think this is where the journey becomes enjoyable, because it's always an element of surprise that is coming to you, and you're always going to surprise yourself with the things that you make. That's definitely happened to me. I've definitely surprised myself with the stuff that I make, because I didn't think that I would be making things that I'm doing right now. And I wish I could have a conversation with past me and just like talk to him, show him like stuff that I'm doing right now. I'll be like, hey, keep on going, give him a nice fist bump, give him like a pat on the shoulder, because that's what he deserves. But future me would probably be saying the same to me right now. But only way how I'm gonna get to that is if I just keep on improving and keep on like stacking in the days, keep on putting in work daily. So I want to extend that onto you. Find something that you really enjoy doing and just keep on putting the work to it. Find something that you can really advance in. It doesn't matter if you're good or not, just find something and just keep on developing in that, because when you do that, you really discover more about yourself and you become a better person overall. So really, there's no way how you can lose by putting in the work into what you love to do. But yeah, now I'm just finishing up with the blacks. You see that after I put the whites, there was some little bit of black parts that I wanted to add in. But yeah, starting to wrap up everything now, adding in a little bit more black just so everything sort of has more harmony. I don't want like super huge white spaces all around the face. You want to fill everything out. You want everything to look complete. But yeah, as I wrap this up, if you guys are following along with me, I hope you really enjoyed making this photo with me. I know that I really enjoyed making this and it was really fun. But I want to invite you again to that emailing list in the description. If you just type in your email, you're going to get that 7-step guide. And you're also going to get access to me one-on-one with coaching. I'm going to launch coaching and I'm going to help you. It doesn't matter what skill level you are. It doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are. I'm going to help you from sketch to finish. And I want you to be proud of the work that you make. So I will be there. I'm going to guide you. Any questions that you have, I'm going to answer it. So I really believe that you'll get a lot of value from this. Even if you're an artist, if you'd like to do art recreationally, or if you're just like trying to find something to do with your time, trying to find something that gives you more meaning, something that actually you can get in your flow state, because art is something that is very helpful, it's very therapeutic, and it has led to very, very good things in my life, because without art, I wouldn't be in the same headspace I'm at right now. I wouldn't have the same friends I have right now. And I wouldn't have like as much meaning in the things that I do. So it's really brought a lot out of me. So I want to help you get to that point too, where you're confident in the stuff that you make and that you can really express yourself with art, because art is something that is so beautiful that humans can extend. They can extend their thoughts out into it. It's something that they can use when they cannot use words to express how they feel or what they want or what they're thinking. So I want to thank you all for watching this video one more time, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.